What's up, my people? We live here. It's Tuesday morning. I gotta give you guys some updates and some interesting info. The drive time short. I'm gonna wait for some people to join as we go to our ride to work. Drive time shaman morning videos as we travel to work. Everybody, welcome. So last night I was gonna do a live YouTube, but I forgot that I was a guest on. I was gonna be a guest on Revolution Radio, so I had to do a 2-hour radio show last night. So YouTube Live will be tonight. Special presentation will be tonight. Last night, instead of doing the YouTube Live, I had to do I had a prior appointment. I mean, a prior booking. I forgot all about it. I was a guest on Revolution Radio last night from 10 o'clock to 12 midnight. And I don't know if you guys know Steve Purdy. His last name is Purdy. Steve Purdy. He goes by Steve Zeroloth. He has a show on Revolution Radio called Ghost in the Machine, and I was his guest last night. We had a little bit of technical difficulties with the station a little bit, but all in all, it ended up working out. It was a pretty good show. I talked about some interesting things. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was interesting because we got to talk about some things about the Strega and Etruscans that I don't usually talk about. We talked about some runes, certain techniques we use to break spells, things like this. It was really interesting. And this week, coming up on my show Eye of Ra, my guest will be Gary Wayne again, but we're doing a special presentation about the Gothic architecture of the Notre Dame cathedrals and of the Knights Templars. It's going to be a special 2-hour presentation by me and Gary Wayne, and Gary is doing his own research, and I've done my own digging and viewings on these windows, and I've been revealing a little bits and pieces to you guys along the way. But on my Patreon, I'm going to put the more in-depth articles and mind-blowing info. I started doing a little bit of it last night, just showing a little teasers of what I've been working on. And the info is mind-blowing, and the technology that's used to build these cathedrals is otherworldly. It's interdimensional technology. They're literal weaponized cathedrals and gateways. And they literally were designed to usher in the apocalypse. And I'm going to show you guys how. Now, tonight's YouTube Live, because last night, of course, I had to do the radio show, so tonight's YouTube Live, we're going to be talking about my visions. Like I mentioned, the visions I had of the Mount Kailash and the Mothman, and also recently, I've got even more verification on something that has popped in and out of my psyche most of my life. And I've had visions before I knew who any of these individuals were. They popped up in some of my experiences and visions and dreams. And I've had a few times where it's like I left my body, or I had some sort of astral travel, if you want to call it, when I was really small too. And this was before I ever did any drugs in life or took any hallucinogens, or so you can't, that's ruled out, you know. When I was younger, I think I was like 12 or 13, um, I I played at a high level in soccer. Even at a young age, I was on like travel soccer. I played year-round indoor soccer when it was the winter here in New York, and I was on a travel soccer team, which was like the best kids from the year I was born in my area would play against other best kids from the year they were born in their area. And then like I would play on the rec team on Sunday mornings, the school team. You know, I always played soccer, and I played at a high level. I was really good at it. Pretty much any sport I really put my mind to, I was really I'm an athletic person. It just came natural for me, and that's why when I went into Muay Thai with the kickboxing, it was so natural, because those soccer kicks are the same in Muay Thai and kickboxing as they are in soccer. It's the same way to kick. They're like soccer kicks where you dig your shin into things. So when I was younger, one day I was so exhausted. I came home from soccer, and my mom, I walked in the house with my mom, and she went inside to go start dinner, and I was gonna go take a shower before dinner, and I sat down on the couch to like take off my shin guards and stuff like that. And I remember when I sat down on the couch, like I was so tired, and there was such a weird feeling going on that I felt like I was like, things were starting to go in slow motion, like, and I can hear like the like that, and I felt like that if I didn't shake my head, I was gonna get stuck like that forever or die. And I tried to yell for my mom in the kitchen, and I couldn't even get anything out of my throat to scream for her. So like I felt like I was literally gonna die, and I could see like almost the particles in the air slowing down almost. It was very, very, and it's happened one or two other times to me before that happened. But other times I kind of like shook myself out of it. And the one time in Disney, I had like left my body and like floated towards the ceiling, and that was a whole nother story. But this time I kind of just like gave into it in a way, or I don't know how to say it, but I like was too tired to fight it. And when I sat down, like, because I was in the middle of sitting down, I was like, I went to go lean back and sit down on the couch, and when I went to sit down on the couch, it's like I sunk into it, and I never like hit it. It's like I sunk into it, and I like gave in kind of like to the vibration, and I gave into that hard. It was like shaking my head, kind of like, wah, like, and it felt like I was gonna die for a second. It really is scary. And then like I gave into it, and I went to go sit. I like sunk into it, and everything stopped, like hit. And then I opened my eyes, and everything was like white in front of me, like really white. And I could see things in front of me, but I couldn't see myself at all. You know, so like. It's I don't remember being freaked out either. It was like it felt like almost like you're home in a way, like you're supposed to be there. It was like interesting, and it felt like time wasn't ticking anymore. Like it was just like, I don't know how else to explain it, but I looked in front of me, and it was all white walls, but I started walking, and I could see that there was like a water ahead of me, right? And I don't know if it manifested out of nowhere, but all of a sudden the white walls, I'm looking down, and there was water. And I could see stairs going up the white walls on one side, and stairs going up the other side, like a step, like there's steps, like short steps, and this was like almost like now that I know, it is a step well from India. I didn't know at the time. End up being what I think is the well of Sheshna. And I could see a woman hovering over the water, and in yoga pose, kind of, almost like she's sitting on a lotus petal, because there was like little flowers spinning around her. And she had a hood on, a black hood, and it was like pulled back a little bit, and she looked up at me, and she had like green cat eyes and really curly hair, and she was pretty, very pretty. And then to the other side was like a turban dude in the same pose sitting there, and he had like a big turban on. And then I looked at the walls, and it was like red cobras on the walls, and the eyes were moving. They were like painted red on the walls, but the eyes were moving inside, right? So I think my mom was calling me from the kitchen then at that time, because I think my mom's voice came or something, because all of a sudden I remember walking to the water's edge and looking in it, and I actually saw a reflection of myself, but I looked like an older guy. And at that age I was young. And then I heard my mom, and I got sucked back, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And you know, fast forward maybe 6 years from till I'm like 19, the first time I opened up the Secret Doctrine of Madame Blavatsky, that's her. That was her face, like cat eyes. Now I got to go inside work, but we're going to talk more about this and more about what is the Mahatma Letters, because Madame Blavatsky was receiving precipitated letters that precipitated psychically, and they would sometimes manifest out of thin air in her hand. And now the British Museum has these letters, because they don't know how they were made, how the ink never smeared, how they were, it's like they were holographically imprinted with something. Like other people have tried to forge different ones, and sometimes she was blamed for forgery for a while, but then she was they said that it wasn't. But these are a group of holy men called the Mahatmas, and they appear in the Himalayas and to other people, and they give psychic transmissions, and they're like guides. And everybody who gets visions has had some sort of person appear like a guide. Even Don Bosco has had guides appear in his dreams. So I think it's us on other timelines. Even the Hopi girl that would come to me, I think it's me on another timeline or something like this. So these Mahatma letters are something that I've seen in my dreams. Letters just appear, and then writing just starts writing on it. And Aradia, one of my ancient ancestors from Volterra in Italy, she had special scrolls that when she ran her finger across them, words would appear, and they were stolen by the Vatican. She was hunted down for them, and I believe this is part of it as well. The ones that Ms. Blavatsky was communicating with was like Kuthumi and Morya. These are ancient Tibetan brotherhood, an ancient Tibetan brotherhood that goes back thousands of years, even from other dimensions and Atlantis and those times. So we're going to talk later. Thank you guys for joining. You can always donate in the chat, especially tonight. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Patreon.com/TheMysticalSpiral. We'll see you tonight, and spiral out.